Welcome to episode 1 of a new series where I break down real credit card setups from Reddit and show you how to actually maximize value for travel without overcomplicating your wallet. Each episode, I'll take a real post, analyze a person's goals, location, and spending, and explain which credit card ecosystem actually makes sense for them. And hopefully, you can apply a similar process for your own wallet. I'm a firm believer in being able to learn from other people, and this series is for those that resonate with me. If you're into practical credit card strategy, make sure to like this video and subscribe because every episode builds on the same framework, but it gets more advanced over time. Value is subjective, right? Two people can use the same credit card and get completely different value from it, even if one of them is technically getting a higher cents per point redemption. And today I'll show you how to figure out which credit card ecosystem gives you the best value for travel based on your real life, not internet hype. And to do that, we're going to walk through a real Reddit post from Responsible Tail 752 as a case study. Most credit card advice online starts with this card has insane value, or you can get 4 to 5 cents per point, or this is objectively the best setup, which in my opinion is a terrible advice or recommendation to give to anyone. And that's because none of that matters if the airlines don't fly from your airport, or the hotels aren't where you travel, or the redemptions don't match your style. So before we talk about cards, we need a framework to define value. And the way people usually do this is 2 methods. The first method is the most common approach, where they just look at their cents per point. This is where you take cash price of a flight or hotel and you divide by the number of points used for that booking, and that gives you cents per point. And in theory, higher cents per point looks better, but this approach really ignores annual fees, transfer partner availability, which I think is huge, geography, airline hubs, and how often you'll actually redeem. So a 3.5 cents per point redemption, for example, that you never book or you rarely book is worth less than a 1.3 cents per point redemption that you use every year. And that brings us to the second method, which I personally is better overall because in terms of its usability, and that's where we focus on the usability of the points. And this approach asks you, how easy are points to earn, how flexible are redemptions, how often will you realistically use them, and do they fit your lifestyle? Now this is where lower cents per point can still mean higher value, and this is where case studies really matter. Now, whenever I look at a setup, I focus on 4 things: financial situation, like income, monthly spend and categories, geographic location, home airport lounges, airline hubs, airline and hotel flexibility, brand loyal versus cheapest option, and travel goals, budget versus luxury, economy versus premium cabins. Now let's apply this framework to Responsible Tail 752. The financial reality is that they make around $95,000 per year in income. They spend around 1.2K every month, and spend categories are balanced and consistent overall. So they spend enough that optimization definitely matters, but not so much that chasing ultra premium redemptions makes sense by default, because in order for you to chase those redemptions, for you to get a lot of points, you need very high spend. So that brings us to their travel behavior now. They're airline agnostic, hotel agnostic, usually books the cheapest flights and hotels, travels once or twice per year, and they focus on budget travel, not luxury travel. So they are optimizing for usability, not aspirational redemptions. Now, if this assumption is wrong, Responsible Tail, please leave a comment and I'll adjust my strategy and help you adjust as well. Moving on to the geography element of everything, Responsible Tail is based in Florida, mainly flying out of Tampa, Fort Lauderdale. And from these 2 airports, you'll mostly see American Airlines, Delta, and JetBlue. Now, JetBlue is widely supported across all credit card ecosystems, even though transfer value is not always 1-to-1, so we're not going to really focus on that. That brings us to our key insight. Our first key insight of the video: Chase and Capital One do not transfer to Delta or American. Citi transfers to American, and the Citi Strata Elite offers access to the Admiral Lounge in Fort Lauderdale. Amex transferred to Delta, and you can access the Escape Lounge with the Amex Plaid in Tampa. So between Delta and American generally offers higher cents per point in terms of both domestic and international travel, and Delta is easier since coverage is larger, but it's often worse value. So given Responsible Tail's travel goals and redemption goals, I believe that this gives Citi a stronger edge for flights, assuming that they can use American airline routes frequently enough. Also worth noting, Amex is not widely accepted internationally. It's getting better, but this still matters for frequent international travel. Moving on to hotels. Hotels are where bad advice can cause a lot of damage, right? Amex hotel transfers are usually poor value. They're less than 1 cent per point, usually. Capital One hotel transfers are also often under 1 cent per point, and so cashback is often better in this regard. But if you want to use your points for hotels, maybe look into Hyatt, right? Hyatt has Chase and they offer around 2 cents per point if you can transfer their points to Hyatt. It's very easy to be done, and if you need help with that, please leave a comment or reach out to me, and I'm more than happy to help you out with that. And I prefer hotels as another option. If you really like Citi's setup, it gives you 2 cents per point on average, but it has very limited footprint, so that's something to keep in mind. So in practice, in terms of balance, in my opinion, Chase is best for hotels and Citi is best for the high cents per point American Airlines flights. Now, Responsible Tail is currently running a Capital One based setup, and Capital One generally excels at simplicity, flexibility, budget travel, and decently easy redemptions. But for Responsible Tail specifically, Capital One doesn't offer much value because transfer partners are relatively limited, and so exploring another ecosystem could be worth it. And here is the final verdict, right? There is no universally best credit card ecosystem, and that's the whole point of this video. But for Responsible Tail 752, 3 main cases can be made. The first case is Capital One. If you don't want to pivot away from Capital One and just want to use one bank to bank with, you could get the Venture X for lounge access and travel protection. The other option is Citi, where if American Airlines flights are valuable to you because they have high average cents per point and decent domestic and international footprint, you can look at a Citi setup. Finally, you can look at a Chase setup, where if you want to use more points for hotels, Hyatt hotel redemptions will give you a lot of value. Now, a couple minor things to consider when comparing the flagship combos of these ecosystems: Capital One Duo, the Venture X, and the Saver Card, Citi Trifecta, Citi Custom Cash, Citi Double Cash, and one Citi Strata Card, and the Chase Trifecta, Freedom Unlimited, Freedom Flex, and the Chase Sapphire Preferred or the Reserve. Citi and Capital One setups will be easier to earn points since you get 2x on non-category spend, and Capital One gives you priority pass lounge access for the lowest overall annual fee, but you don't have that many lounge options in your airports to begin with, so that might not be worth it for you. So with all this said, it is your turn now. Responsible Tail to choose depending on what you value. Chase for hotels, Citi for American Airlines, or Capital One for simplicity, and you can pursue their flagship, the combos that I just mentioned. And this is what I believe to be the right way to choose a credit card setup. An emphasis on what is important to you, how easily you can use the ecosystem, and how it fits your lifestyle. Huge thanks to Responsible Tail for letting me use their Reddit posts as a case study. If you have more questions, please feel free to reach out, leave a comment below, and be more than happy to respond. If anyone else wants their setup broken down like this, please drop a comment, and I'll see you in episode 2.